Hey guys, welcome back to Facts on Air, which is all about keeping you guys updated with the latest news and trends. So in this video, we're going to be talking and we're going to be touching into a very heavy topic which needs you to have a core understanding into politics. So Gareth Cliff has recently written a letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa and it shows concern about lockdown. Gareth says it's not his first time writing a letter. He started like 10 years ago when he used to write letters to our past president, Jacob Zuma. He had been asked what makes him write letters. He said that being free means to be able to speak out about things that worries you, concerns you, and interests you. To be silent is as good as being in jackal. So guys, Facts on Air feels like this is a very valid statement. I mean, as a concerned citizen, you have a right to express how you feel, but it definitely takes some courage to actually write a letter to the president. Yeah. So with this interview with Rise Above, he had been asked why did he needed to speak out while we are in lockdown. So he mentioned that lockdown is a bad idea. Regardless of how many lives had been lost, it's something that nobody wants, and the entire economy is put on hold and possibly won't recover for years. I mean, that is true. That is very, very true. But why is he only looking at lockdown on an economy point of view? Does he show any concern about health? Because we haven't fully read his letter, but according to the interview, he's more especially talking about economy of our country. So Jamil was added to the conversation to kind of like oppose and discuss what Gareth had to say. Gareth furtherly expresses his reason why he feels like lockdown is not a great idea. He also mentioned that the tests we have done are not enough. I mean, guys, that's extremely true because we haven't done enough tests. We haven't reached even the half of South African population. So yes, that's a very valid point. And he also mentioned that if the lockdown ends tomorrow, June or whatever, there will be a same number of deaths. According to my point of view, I feel like that's not true. He's basically saying that lockdown isn't effective at all. I mean, guys, I believe that if there was no lockdown, by today, there was going to be like a higher number of deaths. I mean, that only makes sense. Like, yeah. So the question is that does our citizens fully obey the rules of the lockdown or not? He furtherly said that lockdown is all about flattening the curve for longer. So to question time, it hasn't prevented everyone from dying. So during the Gareth and Jamil conversation, which I'm not gonna fully discuss, I'm currently touching into some very few things they had a debate about. So basically, Gareth sounded as if he's saying that people must risk their lives and allow things to go back to normal. And Jamil asked Gareth for the list of people who actually risk their lives to allow that to happen. He got furious and expresses his anger. But guys, I mean, that's how he actually sounded. And the issue that everyone could see from this interview is that every time Jamil was raising a point, Gareth would jump up and interfere to what he's saying. So I feel like Gareth wasn't giving him enough chances to express himself. And as someone who wrote this kind of a letter, you need to allow people to respond to that because you wrote something that concerns everyone. So Jamil mentioned that people also do have a right to respond to his letter. So Gareth mentioned that underprivileged people are having less choices during lockdown, and that is very true, guys. Like, if there was no lockdown, people would not be probably needing to queue for food. If you're someone who's underprivileged and you rely on selling fruits, selling sandwiches to people, then lockdown can negatively affect you to a point that you would not have a choice, and you would end up queuing in order to get food parcels. And it's so sad when people have to stand long lines in order to get food. But Jamil furtherly debated about Gareth's letter, and he said that the letter was more about Gareth. There was more I in the letter, because Gareth is obviously privileged. I mean, he has power. Look how his letter has shaken a lot of people. That takes like power and being privileged. But guys, Gareth debated and said that in his letter, he considered every single South African citizen, and there was more we in the letter. But if you're gonna look at it in a critic and politic point of view, you'd notice that this is kind of like favoring privileged people. And in this video, Gareth also said that he does not regret writing this letter, because he had been getting a lot of people agreeing with him. He had been getting like a lot of emails. There's like a lot of people who had been criticizing what he had said. And he also said that he was very polite and he was only complaining about the things that affects the citizens. So according to Gareth, the letter was considering every single citizen, guys. Every single citizen. So guys, we would like to know, what is your point of view regarding to what Gareth had said into his letter? And make sure, please do read it before you get into here. Remember that we did not touch in deep into everything that he had said. We wanted to touch some few points that he made, that him and Jamil made in the interview. So we are looking forward to hear your point of view. And thank you guys for tuning in. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Open your notification bell, and we're gonna see you guys on our next video with a lot more interesting content.